Is Brandon Aiyuk forcing a trade from the San Francisco 49ers? We're going to dissect that idea on today's show as social media posts from Aiyuk's brother and girlfriend suggest that he's unhappy with the 49ers and he could be seeking a trade. Let me know what you think. Should the Giants trade for Brandon Aiyuk? Type T for trade, type P for pass. 12 months ago, we talked about that idea on this channel multiple times. Fast forward, sounds like it's going to be a reality, and I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for taking time out of their busy schedule to rock and roll with us as we get you caught up on everything surrounding the Giants as well as the National Football League. Is Brandon Aiyuk going to be traded? Let's talk about it. What's going on with the guy that played like a top 10 wide receiver this year for the San Francisco 49ers? Well, after the Super Bowl, where the Niners lost and Aiyuk had just 3 grabs, Aiyuk's brother and best friend said Aiyuk will play in Las Vegas for the Raiders due to his frustrations. Then Aiyuk's girlfriend indicated his days with the 49ers may be over. Brandon Aiyuk is entering the last year of his rookie deal. He is going, or is expected right now, to be playing on that 5th-year option. He wants to get paid. And he doesn't love that they did not really target him all that much in the Super Bowl. Look at this. This is the exact reason why we leave in San Francisco. Thank you, 49ers, for drafting my brother. We are forever grateful. BA to Vegas. Why does your all-pro 1,300-yard receiver have 3 catches in the Super Bowl? If you think, I'll just say this. Brandon Aiyuk told his brother to post this. His brother is not posting this without permission from Brandon Aiyuk. They do not say these things with that. Also this, Brandon Aiyuk's girlfriend on Instagram. Okay, this might have been the last day we touch foot on Levi's Stadium. Me and Braylon, their son, because we might not be out here next season. And look, the 49ers are going to have to make a very difficult decision when you have the type of roster they do with Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner, Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Javon Hargrave, all the expensive players they have. And then young players like Brock Purdy's going to have to get paid sooner than later. Talanoa Hufanga is going to have to get paid. A lot of these young guys are going to need money. And there's only so much of the pizza pie to go around. The roster they still have is elite, but it's increasingly getting more expensive, not going to be able to keep everybody. And we talked about this last year. I told you guys 12 months ago, the 49ers are going to have to sooner rather than later trade or cut some of their players. You cannot continue to have the highest paid team every single year. Why are we talking about it on the Giants Now channel by Chat Sports? Because Brandon Aiyuk liked a picture of him on Instagram in a New York Giants jersey at it. This was last year, to be fair, but what does this tell me? He at one point had an interest in playing for Big Blue. There he is in a Giants edit, and there Brandon Aiyuk is at the bottom, showing he liked the video. Will the Giants trade for him? Let's try to break it down. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, though, because if anything happens, whether it's with Aiyuk, Giants draft, free agency trade, roster cuts, coaching news, whatever it is, we're going to be breaking it down on this channel, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. Subscribe, turn the notifications on, and sub for Giants Dubs. It's a very interesting case for the New York Giants. They are not a wide receiver away from competing at the top of this league. They also have a lot of holes across their roster. And Brandon Aiyuk is wanting to secure the bag. So if the Giants are going to go and acquire him, they're going to have to give up valuable draft assets, and they're also going to have to give him a large chunk of money. Is it worth it? We'll discuss it around the corner. But first, I need you to check out our proud sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app, use the promo code GiantsChat, and get $20 off. What is Game Time? It's the #1 ticketing app in the game. You get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop as the events get closer. The lowest price guaranteed. They also show you a view of the seat in the app that you are looking to buy. And it's not just Giants games you can go to. You can get tickets for absolutely anything. We've got pictures of Knicks games. You also can go to Mets or Yankees games when those start. You can go see the Rangers at Madison Square Garden and so much more. Concerts, music events. Concerts are a music event. Concert plays, theater events, and so much more. Check them out. Download the Game Time app and use the promo code GIANTSCHAT to get $20 off. I've used the Game Time app multiple times. It's been a very easy user experience, and I always feel like I'm getting the best deal. That's why I continue to use them. Check them out. Download it. Promo code GIANTSCHAT, $20 off. I believe that Brandon Aiyuk is a top 10 wide receiver in this league. That was my opinion last year when he put up 78 grabs for over 1,000 yards and 13 yards per catch and 8 touchdowns. And then he took his game to another level. Think about it like this. He had 3 less catches this year compared to last year, but he had more than 300 plus more yards. His yards per catch went from 13 to 17. He can line up outside. He can line up in the slot. He can run every single route on the route tree. I think he's one of the best route runners in this league, and he is at the top of the list in the NFL when it comes to separation. And look at some of the stats where he ranks at the top. Yards per catch, 2. Yards per target, 2. PFF wide receiver grade, 2. EPA, 2. Receiving yards, 7. So what does that mean? He is going to want to be a top 10 highest paid receiver in the league. Do the Giants have that type of cash, and are they willing to shell out that type of cash? Are the Giants going to pay a wide receiver at the current state of the rebuild top 10 money? Are we going to give him $20 million? I think that's the minimum he would take. I think he's better than Keenan Allen. I think he's better than DJ Moore. I think he's better than Terry McLaurin. I think he's better than Deebo Samuel. I would have him at 6 because I don't think he's better than Tyreek, Devontae Cooper, A.J. Brown, and I actually do think he's better than DK Metcalf. He's one of my favorite wide receivers, if you can't tell, because what he does is what I love about a football player, and it's what Joe Shane loves about a receiver. He's a yak generator. He is someone that can generate yards after the catch. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He can beat you deep. He can beat you short. He can get in an intermediate range. He is a special, special player. But on top of that, on top of the fact that he's going to want $20 million per year, you're also going to have to trade a king's ransom to get him. Let's look back at some trades that have gone down across the National Football League that have involved top wide receivers. When the Eagles traded for A.J. Brown, they had to give up a first and a third-round pick. And A.J. Brown on the Titans wasn't quite the A.J. Brown that you now think of on the Philadelphia Eagles. Still really good with the Titans. There's a reason he went for first and third. But he upped his game like crazy. First and a third for A.J. Brown. The Raiders had to give up a first and a second-round pick for an aging Devontae Adams. And when Tyreek Hill was traded from the Chiefs to the Dolphins had to give up a first-round pick, a second-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks, and a sixth-round pick. So on top of the fact that you'd have to make Aiyuk a top 10 highest paid receiver and have to give up massive, massive draft compensation, I'm going to say this trade is unlikely. This made a lot more sense last offseason when you thought you had your quarterback and you thought you were a receiver away from competing after you just made it to the second round in the NFL playoffs. Not sure the Giants are on a spot to give up valuable picks and give a contract extension to Brandon Aiyuk. Whether it's Aiyuk or somebody else, though, Joe Shane knows that he needs to add another playmaker to this football team. Obviously, he has to build up the offensive line, and that should be priority number 1. But man, oh man, these stats that the Giants receivers put up last year, they are sick, and not in a good way. It makes my stomach sick. Their leading receiver had 50 grabs for 770 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, Darius Slayton's a good player, but he can't be your wide receiver 1. I like Wan'Dale Robinson as a wide receiver 3 or a slot. I'm hoping Hyatt takes a step next year. Hodgins, I actually think he's pretty good, but you know what? Nobody's stats were all that good. So maybe you look somewhere else in free agency to sign a wide receiver instead of trading for Brandon Aiyuk. You're going to guys like T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman, Hollywood Brown, Calvin Ridley, Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis, Odell Beckham Jr., Tyler Boyd, and Curtis Samuel. Maybe you look to one of these guys. My guys on this list are Calvin Ridley and a sleeper is the word, Darnell Mooney. Keep your eyes on Darnell Mooney. I think and Gabe Davis will obviously have interest from the New York Giants. We've shown you 10 wide receivers that are free agents. You also know that Brandon Aiyuk wants to be traded. Name a wide receiver you want the Giants to sign or trade for. Name a wide receiver you want the Giants to sign or trade for. Let me know in the comments, and make sure to give me a follow over on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. You can follow me on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go G-Men.